I got to spend some hands-on time with an early Renegades build, and as always, things are subject to change, perks, numbers, tuning, all that can shift before launch, but even with the limited time that I had, I walked away genuinely impressed with both these new weapon exotics. Both of them felt strong, fun, and each of them fill a very different role. There's potential for build crafting with them. They both feel unique, they feel powerful in different ways, and honestly, I think players are going to find a ton of depth with each of them. So today I want to discuss the new solar combat bow Heirloom and the Strand machine gun Service of Luzaku. Two very different weapons, two very different roles, but both of them felt like standout exotics. I first want to start with the bow because the moment I fired it, I just went, oh, okay, this is going to be one of those weapons. It felt strong. Heirloom's whole identity revolves around charging up bolts. And this is actually a heat weapon. More on this in a moment. Its exotic trait is Big Game Hunter, and what it does is simple. Aim down sights for a short period of time to overcharge the next bolt fired. With each stage, it increases damage in the area of effect of each charge level. You aim down sights and hold, the bolt charges through 3 stages. Each stage takes a little time, but each level, the damage increases, so does the size of the explosion. And when this thing detonates at full charge, it is noticeably wide. The intrinsic trait is Bolt Thrower. This weapon fires high-powered explosive bolts that can stun unstoppable champions. I mean, the shots feel heavy. And then there's the Catalyst, which I had on and off in my recordings because not every capture session had it active, but when it was active, it completely changed the flow of the weapon. For the Catalyst, direct hits with charged bolts scorch the target. This weapon deals more damage against scorched targets. So now you're entering this loop where each fully charged shot scorches. The next one deals more damage because of the Scorch, and if you keep landing these charged hits, you naturally are going to work your way up to an Ignition. And you can even start with them Scorched, right? Like maybe throw out a burn melee, then immediately start doing more damage with this thing. And by the way, the weapon sounds incredible when it's charging and firing. Here's the deal though, Heirloom is a heat weapon. As you aim down sights and start charging, it generates heat. A lot of heat. So you aim down sights, get a max charge and shoot, aim down sights, get a max charge and shoot, and it overheats. Gets down to 0, you do it again. But the secret to Heirloom is that the bow is basically functioning like a balanced heat weapon. And what that means is if you play it right, you can reliably get a perfect vent reload every single time. And that turns it into a rhythm weapon. You stop feeling slowed down, the whole loop becomes incredibly smooth. So how it works, what you want to do, you aim down sights, charge it all the way up and fire. The instant you fire and the shot lands, you descope. And the moment that you descope, the weapon stops building heat, starts cooling down. It's a split-second thing. Then you re-aim down sights, charge it up to max again, fire, and because of the timing, you have that little bit of cooldown, your heat level is going to end up sitting in the high 90% range. And that's exactly where you want it to be because when you reload from that heat level, you get the perfect vent. This gives you a much faster reload, resets your heat cycle, and if you do this rhythm consistently, it becomes your entire damage loop. And a lot of people won't realize that until they play with it longer, but once you do, the exotic feels like a really good special weapon. Really good single target damage, but also the explosion radius is no joke. The fully charged shots hit big, and with the Catalyst active, the Scorch spreads even further. You can tag a main enemy, watch Scorch just kind of jump around, and if they don't go down immediately, you're going to build enough stacks to ignite them. So the add clear feels natural when there's a lot of enemy density. And at one point during the testing, I put on Dawn Chorus just to see how the Scorch interacts. I mean, it did very, very well. But even without any exotic armor, any subclass synergy, build synergy, like Heirloom was just solid. Really good damage for the special slot, great for clearing groups when it's there. It fits into any class, any build. And everyone who tried it seemed to agree that it felt great. It was one of those exotics where the moment you fired a few shots, you kind of get it. You understand what it wants from you, and when you lean into that charge rhythm, it rewards you. And I genuinely can't wait to get it back into my hands. It was very, very fun to play with. Now let's move on to the Strand machine gun, Service of Luzaku. This thing has a little personality. The exotic perk is called Meaning Making. Final blows with this weapon create a threadling nest that periodically spawns threadlings. Final blows with this weapon near an existing threadling nest create a threadling instead. So you get it down, the nest spawns. It just sits there, periodically spawning threadlings on its own. Those seek out enemies. It feels like you basically dropped a little Strand companion with you. If you get kills while near the nest with the actual machine gun, instead of creating another nest, you're going to spawn threadlings out of this thing. Its intrinsic trait is dichotomous thinking. When you hit targets, you build up a restorative charge. You hit fire at allies while you're charged, it's going to heal them. It does not expend ammo, fills the weapon's magazine from reserves. So you can't lose ammo while healing teammates, and if you rapidly heal allies, the weapon gets a damage buff and starts spawning threadlings from your allies. This thing is cool. There's a lot going on. It becomes a support tool, team tool, a little Strand engine all at once. Because there's also the catalyst. The nests you create will mature over time. Once they're fully mature, they can be harvested to grant yourself a tangle. So once one has been up, you go up to it, you grab it, the nest despawns, and a tangle is in your hand. I was using a suspend build on Strand Warlock with the new exotic helmet for most of my testing with the machine gun, and the amount of Strand synergy was just ridiculous. I mean, threadlings everywhere, and they were perching, unravel rounds everywhere, tangles spawning constantly. The weapon just kind of has a mind of its own. It's there to help you. The machine gun itself felt good, felt strong, taking out enemies reliably, and you had these threadling nests that just put in damage. It was really fun, a lot going on, and when you stand next to your nest, it throws out threadlings. It's doing its thing. Maybe you slap on an arc buddy, you have a couple sources helping you out, and you just let them do their thing. The nests and threadlings just keep working even if you switch weapons. So you get a kill with the machine gun, drop a nest out there, swap to another gun, just run around. The nest just continues doing its thing. It's passive value. Now, I didn't get great footage of hip firing to teammates, seeing the boosted damage effects because my time was limited, and I was trying to bounce between multiple weapons during this session, but I'll go deeper once Renegades comes out and able to test more thoroughly. But even without that healing element on display here today, the machine gun already feels like a really good support tool. Like something in its own right, fills its own space in Destiny. It can do cool things, and there's going to be a ton of Strand synergy. Overall, both of them were highlights of the play session. Heirloom felt like a crisp, just satisfying big bow with a ton of potential, and Service of Luzaku felt like it has a lot of depth and build potential. But with both of them, it feels like if you just slap them on with no build synergy, they're going to do what they do, and what they do is pretty good. They felt incredibly solid. And at the end here, I had notes as I was playing with them. I wrote them down, thoughts. And one of the things I want to point out was with the limited time that I had, limited mods, barely any build optimization, I wasn't stacking perfect perks, I wasn't running full subclass synergies, I wasn't trying to break anything, and the weapons were already this enjoyable under those conditions. Their ceiling's going to be a lot higher in the full build of the game. Because before I play with weapons, I get a look at what they do, how they're meant to be played, what their loop is, and how well is that going to translate. Both of them didn't feel good in theory. Like on paper, they felt good in actual gameplay. I mean, I did some stationary sandbox tests in the range, but in-game, real encounters, real enemies, modifiers, chaos happening everywhere, they held up without feeling awkward or incomplete, so that's really good. Both of these are absolutely on my radar. So which one of these two are you most excited about? Once Renegades comes out, we could dive deeper into them. Full testing, build ideas, like all of these weapons and gear, I can't wait for you to experience it, get your hands on them. They're really, really good. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about these two exotic weapons down below. What are your thoughts? Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.